YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I have yet another pickups video for you here. Today I went out thrifting. It was pretty crazy out there today, so I'll give you kind of a picture here of what it looked like.
It is really cold out today. I'm gonna head out and try out these camera goggle type things, see if I can record some footage for you here. Sorry about the background noise, but I got the heat crank up full blast. It's pretty miserable out right now. You can barely see out of the windows and stuff like that. They're cleared off a little bit, but it's snowing a little bit out there, and it's almost like 30 below with the wind chill. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully that keeps the other thrifters out of the stores, but it's not going to keep this thrifter down anyways. So I'm going to get out there and see what I can find.
So the first places that I went were a number of different thrift shops around town. Goodwills, Talees, Value Villages, things like that. And I picked up a number of items actually. It started off as usual pretty slim, and then it sort of picked up near the end, which is kind of interesting. So first things I'll start off with though are actually from a Toys R Us that I stopped in at just because I was on my way to a Value Village, and I figured I'd stop in there, take a look and see if I could find any Skylanders, and I found one that I didn't have in my collection already. And it's Hornblast Whirlwind. So I pick up Hornblast Whirlwind, pretty cool. Basically looks like a whirlwind with a horn. I also picked up a couple of new generation type games. Not the newest generation, newer generation type games. The first one here is Gears of War Judgment. And I picked that one up for 15 bucks because it was on sale, so I thought I would add it in. I'm not really sure a whole bunch about this. Not the world's biggest Gears of War type of person, so still pretty cool though for that price. And then I also headed over to a pawn shop where I picked up a sealed copy of Dead Island Game of the Year edition, and that was 13 bucks, so pretty cool right there. The next thing that I'll show you here actually comes from eBay, so this is not part of my thrifting. This is stuff that is actually in the mail when I got home, so I'll show you that stuff right now. The first couple of things that I got are these right here. This one is a SCART. I keep calling it S-Cart. It's SCART cable, which goes from a Sega Genesis to this type of adapter, so that's pretty awesome. I also picked up one for the Nintendo, original Nintendo, and I really want to see how this goes. So basically, if you were watching one of my previous videos, I have a connector that goes from this type of thing to HDMI, and now this will go to my NES, and I'm hoping that might clean up the signal a little bit to make it look good on the HD TV. We will see how it goes. I'm not totally certain about that, but I picked this one up as well. I'll post all the prices for those two cables just because I don't have it in my head how much I paid for them, but I'll check it when I do the editing for this. Then the next thing I also picked up off of eBay was a Precision FX Wii zapper type thing. It's for playing House of the Dead basically for me. House of the Dead Overkill is the one that I bought this for. I was asking actually for advice on this specifically, and a number of my viewers sort of piped in, told me different things, and I think this is the one that was sort of recommended the most. Now I think it goes by another name in different parts of the world, but no, it's the Precision FX. So I'm going to open this up right now. So here it is right there. It feels pretty good. Grip's a little bit big, I think, but not too bad at all. The reason why this part of it's so big though is it actually has a built-in nunchuck right there. Pretty cool. So basically you would take your Wii remote, which this may not work with mine right now because I have a strap attached to it, we'll see. So you just put it in there like that. It's extremely tight, but who cares, that's cool. And away you go. And you can do it like this, more natural I think than those other ones that are like this, and you got the two-handed thing going on and you're sort of pushing here. This one's just the trigger like this, and away you go here, so that's pretty cool right there. The next couple of items came from a Talees. I actually stopped by there twice because I usually go back there after I hit up the Value Village because you spend a few minutes in Value Village and you never know when they're going to restock the shelves, and this time they actually did. There were some new things there. So nothing super spectacular or anything like that, but for the first one I picked up Guitar Hero World Tour for PlayStation 3, and for this one I paid $3. So there it is right there. It's totally complete. The next one is Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, and this one as well is complete, and the disc condition on these two are excellent, so I'm not going to bother showing you that necessarily. The next one is not perfect disc condition, so I'll show you it. The third game that I picked up, and this was $1.99, even though on the tag there was no amount, but when she dialed it in it was $1.99, is Avatar: The Last Airbender Into the Inferno. And so this one, like I said, $1.99. It's complete. Manual's in excellent shape, and the disc is pretty good overall. A few light scratches and stuff like that, but it'll definitely play. So excellent deal right there for $1.99. The next thing that I did was I was actually in a Goodwill, and while I was in there I spotted a game, and I'll show you some footage of that right now actually, because I got some in-store footage from it. You should tell me if I should have picked it up or not. I was sort of debating whether or not to do it, but I wasn't really certain, so you tell me, should I have picked it up or not? So it was that NHL game, but in fact it had that Microsoft employee type sticker on it. I'm not sure if that makes it any more valuable necessarily, but I wasn't really willing to pick it up because, well, I already have it in my collection and it's not really that great of a game necessarily, so I wasn't going to do it. I also actually was in the Thalys a couple of times today. What happened was I was traveling around to the Goodwills and they were closed sort of later than they should have been normally, so I sort of traveled to the first one and said they were going to open at 10, and they didn't open up, or I was already there at 9 when they normally open up, and then I went to the other one thinking, okay, by the time I get there it's going to be 10 o'clock, and when I got there they had their sign, it was the same sign, but it was sitting on the door and it said that it originally said 10 o'clock, and then they had crossed that out and they changed it to 11 by hand, which was kind of brutal. So I went around and hit up the other places, and then I went back there an hour later to go in, and they had changed the sign again to 12 o'clock. So I came back a little later after going back to Thalys to check it out, and I'm really glad that I did, because this particular pickup, I'll show you it right now, but it's pretty awesome. $1.99 I picked up Pokemon Silver, and I'll take it out of the packaging here so you can see it. Haven't tested the save battery on this or anything like that yet, but hopefully it saves. And there's only some minor label wear right at the top there. You can kind of see where it's sort of bumpy and things like that, but otherwise it's pretty good, and it looks legit to me. It's not foggy or fuzzy or anything like that, so it looks like it's a legit cartridge to me. Awesome find. The next place that I went to was a Value Village. The one Value Village was pretty much dead, but the other one had some pretty good stuff. I went to the games section. There was nothing really new there. Same stuff that's been sitting there forever. And went over to another spot where they keep like their CD games and things like that. Nothing new over there, and I was kind of getting a little disappointed to it until I walked into the electronics section, and then that's when I found the first item there, which is this right here, a N64. It's complete. Only thing with it is it has a small crack right there, which isn't that big of a deal. It's not going to affect how it plays, but it came with the power supply, AV cables, which is always good. Unfortunately, it's only the jumper pack it's in, it's not the expansion pack, but that's okay. Not a big deal because this will be used for parts and things like that. It was $8, so pretty good deal all around there for an N64 console. Right next to that, there was an indigo, I think it's indigo color controller. Really good joystick on it. Goes right back to the center and doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle or play in it. Great shape, and for that one there it was $3. And then along the same lines, and I picked one of these up recently too, a yellow controller as well. So now I have 4 controllers, and actually 2 of them are yellow and 2 of them are this indigo type color. And this one here was also $3, so really great deal for an N64 controller. The next part was pretty awesome as well. I looked down the counter a little bit further, and after I spotted all this stuff, I spotted these. I pretty much like stepped right in front of a guy to get to them. I don't know if I don't think he was going for them. He was looking at some other stuff, but I wasn't gonna let them sit there any longer. Original Dreamcast controllers. I needed these because the ones I had were third-party ones, and they were kind of big and bulky and just not very comfortable type of controllers, so I got ones to go with my system now, and that also was $3. And as well, I picked up the second one of those. They're kind of disgusting, like they need to be cleaned up, but once they clean up they'll be really nice. I think the joysticks and everything are good, and the buttons feel good. So all around though, $3 for each one of those. Pretty awesome deal. I also picked up one of these Xbox controllers, but the reason why I did that is I want to actually use these, well, at least one of these thumbsticks, probably both of them, and see if I can repair another controller which I picked up, which is nothing super special, but it's kind of cool. It's this EA Sports original Xbox controller, and it's wireless, so you put batteries in the back of it, and then you plug this into your console and away you go. So a wireless connected original Xbox controller. It's pretty cool. The rest of mine are all wired, so this is kind of neat. Blue color is pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the EA Sports logo thing on it, but otherwise it's pretty neat. Has like turbo button and stuff like that, so I guess you could push that in and hold down the buttons and away you go, or something like that. You could definitely use that for shooter type games, that's for sure. This controller here costs $3.99, but the only thing wrong with it is this joystick right here is missing its missing the padding on it. I mean, it still works and everything. It's not damaged. The only damage to it is that it's just missing that padding. So what I'm going to do with that original Xbox controller is actually take off one of these sticks, and hopefully that will work. I don't know if it's a direct replacement, but they look very similar in size. I'll take that one and I'll replace on this one that joystick, and then I'll have a really cool wireless controller for my original Xbox. So that was everything for today. Pretty big pickup, lots of variety of different stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you feel so inclined, please thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later.